Okay, I'm at 341 Covert Run Pike in Bellevue, Kentucky, doing a sanitary lateral inspection for the purchase of a home. We're looking for any structural issues, root intrusion, anything that may be of concern to the buyer. Our access is a floor clean out in the basement or cellar. Right at the front there is a clean out. If you kind of show you around a little bit, there's the door into the side, and if you look over, go past, there's a little sump well here for some storm, and we have this opening here. And so from here we should be able to go both directions, it looks like, and go back in towards the house, which I'll do first. We'll go upstream, and then once we get this all rinsed off, a lot of times we can go in like this, it gets stuff on the front of the camera, and so we want to try to see if we can do it without, so we can actually see. So this should be clay. There could be some cast iron mixed in. It actually kind of looks like it is, unless it's just debris buildup. It just kind of depends on when all this was installed. Based off the age of the house, it would be clay all the way, but any modifications made from the 40s to the 70s would include cast iron, which is what it looks like. Yeah, there's cast iron clean outs to the rear, which is probably about where I am here, which is right there. And if you look in the bottom left hand corner, you'll see that there's an angle indicator, and that just shows you that I was kind of running up into that clean out. But I am going to actually pause the video for a second. We're going to make a verification locate to see where we are. I should be pretty much at one of the two rear stacks here, and that's what we're looking for, just to make sure that we're doing inspecting as much pipe as we can. So I'm going to pause the video and see where we are. Okay, so this line is, or this, I should say, this spot is actually coming down out of the line closest to the exterior door, and so we'll probably see some form of connection here in a second. I'm going to try to make sure that this camera stays as clean as possible. Kind of hard. There's some water in here, just not a whole lot of clean water. What we're looking for is any structural issues with this. A lot of times it's hard with cast iron because you can't really see how thin or thick the pipe walls are. It always rusts, so it always looks nasty like this as far as the line is concerned. But we want to try to get, there's some water in there, but I don't know, it's got some junk in it, and so trying to make sure that this stays clear enough for us to get a really good inspection on the way back here. It is normal to have some of this channeling that you see, where it's kind of built up rust and stuff around the outside of the pipe, but old cast iron always looks nasty, and so what we're really looking for is just functionality, and making sure that there's no holes or broken pipes. And this all looks pretty normal for old cast iron. I don't see any major concern. Cast iron is a little more susceptible to soft clogs. That meaning like paper, toilet paper, stuff like that, like excess toilet paper. Wet wipes are a big thing to stay away from. I mention that an awful lot in my videos because they cause all kinds of backups, and it's much worse with cast iron because of how rough the pipe walls are, since they rust, and so they can catch a lot easier, and those wet wipes do not break down. They so they'll get caught and then stuff will build up behind them. Whereas with toilet paper, if it gets caught, if it's underwater for a long enough period of time, it'll just disintegrate, and that's what it's designed to do. So we pulled back out of the clean out. We've done all the upstream stuff, and it looks good. It's a little, like I mentioned, it's cast iron, so it's always ugly, but it's functional. And so now we're going to try to go downstream, and what I'm expecting is once this exits the house, it should switch over to another material, probably clay. And what we'll probably try to do is run some water when we pull back, and just to check functionality of the line. So a good indication to see if you see all those spider webs, that means that line, the water hasn't gotten up to that point in quite a while. So there's a lot of spider webs. So again, you see this channeling, it's fairly normal. It's also normal to see a little bit of grease build up on it. Sometimes this stuff sucks. There's a very, very little small amount of water here, and so the camera lens is only like a 1/4 inch off the bottom of the pipe, or 1/2 inch, excuse me. And so see, as I pull back, as you push stuff, sometimes it'll get up in front of the camera, and so you just want to try to keep everything out in front and get away from it, but doesn't always happen. So far, this cast iron looks like it's in pretty good shape for its age. It's nice and open, but again, we'll try to run some water when we pull back. See how it's just so rusty and stuff that it's always kind of hard to fully inspect. You wish you had some sort of X-ray camera to be able to see all this stuff and check the line better. This all looks good. If there were any holes or anything, you'd see a bunch of intrusion. Mainly roots, especially with cast iron. It'd be real obvious, because usually cast iron doesn't have a whole lot of you don't, because of the way it's installed, you don't have a whole lot of root intrusion unless there's actual damage to the line. Whereas clay, on the other hand, it's pretty common, just by the nature of how they connect the lines together. But so far, we have cast iron the entire way, which is a little surprising for me. Most of the time in these situations, this is... Alright, so we are up against something here. This looks like we've got PVC, but this looks like a backflow preventer. I cannot go through this. If I go through this, my camera will get stuck. So I'm going to pause the video. We're going to locate this and see if I can get access to that backflow preventer. What it is it's a door that opens in one direction, and if the water backs up from the other direction, it pushes it closed. So because it's basically a swinging flap, if I push my camera through it and then try to pull it back, it'll pinch down on the camera and I won't be able to get it out. So again, I'm going to pause the video. I'm going to locate this and see if we can get access to this backflow preventer and kind of see where it is in relation to the property line. Okay, so good news is we've made it about as far as we need to make it. It's got a city manhole with 2 backflow preventers, and there's no way for me to get in there to to remove the backflow flap, so I can't go through here, and it would mean that from this point on would be the responsibility of the sewer district. I'm assuming that they've probably had a backup or something at some point because of an overload of the sanitary main, and so the city must have installed this, or SD1, the sewer department must have installed this to prevent any backups into the house. I mean, this is like I said, it's an actual manhole with those two. It looks like two backflow preventers, and so should not have anything to do with the homeowner, the sewer department. I would make a phone call to SD1 and try to find out a little more information on this, just to make sure, to see who owns it, to make sure, I should say, that they are responsible for maintaining that. Because obviously the placement of it and where it is, I can't get down in there to remove that at this point. So, but based off of the manhole lid, like, it's a full manhole installed, and then these backflow preventers. So it's it was definitely not installed by the homeowner. It was installed by the city, or, well, the sewer department. And so the line here, it's ugly, but it's fully functional. It looks pretty normal, actually, for an old cast iron line like this. And so as we pull back, we'll keep looking for stuff here, but as far as I've seen, the line looks pretty good. It's definitely something where I mentioned earlier, you want to make sure you're not using any wet wipes or putting anything down these lines that you shouldn't. You know, no paper towels, no feminine products. They are much more of a hassle when you have cast iron pipe, due to how rough the pipe, the inside of the pipe wall gets. You never really know how much life you have left in one of these cast iron lines. Eventually, over time, this will rust through, but you never really know how thin or thick the pipe walls are at this point. But you can there's usually indications. A lot of times the channeling on the bottom gets really bad, and that's the first spot that rusts out. There'll be a hole in the bottom of the pipe. You can always tell that. But at this point, the line looks fully functional. And so what we'll do is we're going to pull back to the clean out, and we're going to run some water upstairs and try to witness that. And just watch the line, watch the water go through a little bit. So I'm going to leave it right here. We're going to go upstairs, ask somebody to run some water in the two lines, one of the two or something, just to get some water flowing through here, so we can just watch it function. All right, we'll run some water just to watch it, and so it should be good. We've already inspected the line. There's no structural issues. Problems with it. It's fully functional and open and flowing at time of inspection. We'll push through here just to kind of get a look at some of this, and then we'll just make a little extra run here. So now we got extra water in here, so of course. And so a little bit of water doesn't do a whole lot. You need to flush the toilet to move things like that down the pipe, and take a shower, do some laundry. Those kind of things are really what flush these lines out. Running a little bit of water in your sink, as you can see, is not a whole lot of flow, but the line looks good. So No structural issues. Just a few notes, as I mentioned, about what to use and not to use in the sewer line, and also to contact the sewer department about that backflow preventer that they had installed out by the street. The manhole is basically in the center of the front yard, down by the sidewalk, and it says Sanitary on it. And so that's something you want to check on. But again, the line looks good structurally. It's open and flowing at time of inspection, and so that'll end the inspection at 341 Covert Run Pike in Bellevue, Kentucky.